Okay, now we're going to cover our punt system techniques. So the techniques that we utilize in our red and blue punt here. Okay, so basically we teach a jab step and a drop step for our front line um, players. And so we break it down into these four areas, our step, our stone, our swarm, and then we worry about the demeanor of the defender there. Versus a tight alignment. So if a defender is within the protector's body, whether he's inside or out, then he's going to utilize what we call a jab step. So that jab step is just a natural 6-inch step, and he's going to aim at the near number. So he's going to attack the defender across the line of scrimmage. And we always say be the hammer, not the nail. And then when he's going to make contact, he's going to stone that man. He's going to punch that man. He's going to shoot his hands to his aiming point and really destroy his charge. So really what we teach here, if you see the little drawing down at the bottom there, we're going to take our right hand and we're going to attack the V of the neck. Now, a lot of old school coaches would call the V of the neck right here. But right now, the V of the neck with a lot of the young coaches are the little V from the shoulder pads there. And so we were in a heated discussion one time about that with the old and young coaches, and we discovered that everybody was saying a little differently. So we're going to take that right hand and we're going to put it in the V of neck, like right there at the right below the chin. And then we're going to take that left hand. So this is a guy is on our right hand side. And then we're going to take that left hand and we're going to put it on the shoulder pad so that we're going to drive half a man there. And so basically going to drive for 5. And then as we're driving, then we're going to put him in our hip pocket and then we're going to cover. And so we're going to really essentially block for that 2 count, but that 2 count is literally driving. But if we see that the rush demeanor is not rush, then we will free release. So that's our jab step. And again, jab step is when they are in the protector's body frame. When they're out of the body frame and we need to lose ground or give ground to gain ground, lose ground to give ground, we are going to do what we call a drop step. And so we're going to drop step at 45-degree angle behind the line of scrimmage. And we're going to aim for his far jersey number. Now, this is a little different because what we're trying to do is to not get a half of the guy. If we get a half of the guy, we might not be able to get contact. And so we're going to really aim for that far jersey number and try to get our eyes across his body. And we're going to destroy his charge as well. But once we do that, again, we're going to drive for 5. We're going to put him in our hip pocket, and then we are going to release for our cover. And so again, down here, you can see the guy's outside his frame. So he's going to take his right foot, drop step, and he's going to work to that far number. So again, we have a drop step or we have a jab step, and it doesn't matter if the guy's inside or outside. And those are really the 2 techniques that we are going to utilize in regards to protection for the front line. Now, the shield back there, we're going to do kind of like the position of a front squat. So we're going to get in a good base. Feet are not going to get too wide. We're going to have feet shoulder width, Z's in the ankles, knees and waist. You're going to keep your chest up. And you got to have courage. You got to be able to stand your ground. And then you're going to take a little jab step. Now, the jab step we're going to take is just a little hammer step. So like what the offensive line will do, just really literally pick it up off the ground, put it right back down so that you can make sure that you are solid into the ground. We're going to protect our inside foot so that we can protect from inside out. And so we're going to stone that man. We got to be careful to initiate contact too soon. So, and obviously if you do that, then you're going to start leaning. So what we do is we're going to punch when they're within about 6 inches of our frame. We're going to protect inside out. We're going to punch and we're going to have make contact with the palms of our hands with our thumbs up, fingers out, elbows in, and we're going to put our eyes on his chin and destroy his charge. And again, if your man gets blocked, you pick up or doesn't come, then you pick up the next man through. So you're essentially going to help. And then from there, after they do that, then they're going to release for coverage as well. So really you have 3 techniques that might be going on. You got your jab step, which are the guys within your frame and they're on the front line. You've got your drop step, which are the guys that are outside your frame on the front line. And then we've got just our regular really jab and punch right there. So take a small little jab step, punch, and stone that man in the shield. So it's just some very, very basic technique that we're utilizing. Now, here's another thing. We're going to ask some offensive guys to be on punt. So we always make sure that we cover some tackling. And so this is when we're covering technique, we're going to teach them how to tackle. And so on this picture, you can see right here that we are going to sprint. And when we sprint, we're going to do what we call long stride. And then prior to there, we're going to start to shimmy. We don't use the word breakdown in our program. We'll use the word come to balance. And then you can see he's starting to come to balance right here. So he's lowering his hips, sinking his hips, and then he's going to tackle the near hip track the near hip. And so he's going to utilize that using his near leg, near shoulder. And then we'll use a little leg swoop right here in position. And you can see in that picture right here, he's going to start doing that. So we're going to go inside out like we talked about. So this guy right here is still in long stride. So he hasn't started to come to balance yet. And so then he would take that right foot, that near leg, near shoulder, and then he would be able to close the gap. And then these guys two together we would call a compression tackle. And so that's what we use in our program. The next one, here's again, example of tackling. We're going to make sure they know really where the target zone is. And the target zone is basically the zone that they would use like in baseball right there. So you got above the knees, below the neck. And so that's the target zone that we're striving to tackle. And so we're going to strike the shoulder above the waist and at the near pec, and then we're going to wrap and drive for 5 right there. So the hawk tackle is essentially what we're doing. And so this is an example of stuff that we would be teaching to our guys, because we can't just teach them how to protect and cover and not teach them how to tackle, because again, you've got players from both sides of the ball that are doing this. And so this is an important part of the technique that we would be doing in our punt team.